Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here, and this is a bit of a short news story because I don't have all the information. You guys know I don't usually like doing that, but this is so significant I just have to cover it. So there was an ongoing bug that WotC didn't do anything about in Arena. It's where you could get an astronomical amount of gold because of how quests would reset right around a set release. Because, when it comes out, there's a patch and then usually it resets your 3 quests. There was something you could do, I'm not going to get specific, that would let you just keep completing quests. Well, they fixed it. Also, I logged in right after the release of Eldraine, I believe it was, the new Eldraine 2.0, the Eldraining, sequel to the Elkening. But I don't need to tell you that. What I do need to tell you is that they, for one day, as far as I could tell, it's not like I was glued to Arena after that, I basically quit the game, with the exception of any kind of limited play because, your boy gotta do some drafts. And they had some kind of mission-based thing. It was like, cast this many something, but it was like a separate thing. It was like an achievement system. And they seem to have left it in the game for one day. I haven't seen it since. Maybe it's part of the Mastery Pass I didn't buy. I looked at it. I couldn't figure it out. I tried to find some kind of announcement about it. I couldn't figure it out. It was just there for one day. It gave out 1,000 gold in one shot, and then it was gone. If anybody knows more about that, I know I wasn't like dreaming it or hallucinating. Okay, I saw it, I did it. Did WotC or the devs make a statement on this? So lately there's been another bug where you could play banned cards. If I'm not mistaken, this is the second time in Arena's history that it allowed you to play a banned card. Well, it's back. Or at least it was. But wait, breaking news. Dazzler Magic has been exposed. He was actually famous poker player Doug Polk this whole time. I shouldn't say that, as I do a perfect impression of him and actually just sound a little bit like him, and now I can't turn it off. But also lately in the breaking news, they had a little problem with drafts, as you might have heard. I did make a video covering this where somebody was brand new to the game. All of this allegedly, this is just their claim, but they appear to check out. Based on like their post history, I think they hadn't posted on Reddit for like 3 years and nothing Magic related, and yeah, okay. I mean, all right. And they said they didn't realize that like you were only supposed to draft once per token, but the token wasn't going away. It was letting you enter draft after draft after draft. So people were getting nuts with it, and they were getting banned for a week or more. It depends on the number. They set a threshold where it's like, well, that couldn't have possibly been accidental. Well, this person didn't know, so they just kept drafting. Like, I don't know, I guess token means pass? Like, I don't know how this game works. I just downloaded it, according to them. And yeah, they got banned for a week. And then after they reached out to support, literally the email they got said, no exceptions, or all appeals will be rejected, or, something aggressive like that. And then he appealed it and got it approved. So after that fiasco, that little coding error there, the little +1, -1, whoopsie, we forgot to -1 the token. Part of the transaction system, the one part of the code you don't want to break. Hey, remember when that guy used a glitch to get like 2 trillion gems or something? Anyway, so to make up for the fact that I think they just shut down drafts completely for 2 days, they gave everybody, I want to say 2,000 XP, I think it was. You guys know I got like the little in-game mail, letter, email thing and opened it live on stream. And I was like, oh, wow, a premier draft token when I didn't even enter one. All right. I mean, that's, what is that, like $5-10? Jeez. I only had one sitting around. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't buy the Mastery Pass this time around and I'm not going to. And I have like 8,000 gems. Well, some people were able to claim that twice. I wasn't, but a friend of mine, during the promotional once per day, log in once per day and get a free thing, clicked on it really rapidly among other potential ways to glitch it on accident. And he appeared to have gotten the reward twice. So what did they patch next? The entire player inbox feature was disabled. Or at least all mail was suspended. I'm not even sure which they did, to be honest, because it looks like it's back now. So they had a glitch and then made up for it by sending out a glitched thing and then turned off that thing because it was glitched. I wonder if they'll ban people for abusing the fact that you could claim a draft token multiple times that they gave you as reparations for another draft token glitch that they also banned people for. I fully assume when they turn it back on, the very next mail I'm going to get is just one of the devs with just a mail that says, F it, I quit. This ain't worth it. So here's what went wrong. Okay, you guys know, if it's me, I'm going to go deeper. And the first college degree I got was in software engineering. So WotC hired a bunch of like ex-Valve, ex-Steam, ex-everybody, Microsoft people, huge names in the gaming industry to make this game. The beta was amazing. The game was virtually perfect. And yeah, when there was something wrong with it, they were very transparent. They would, listen to you and patch it. And there you go. It took too long to get to launch, if you ask me. But nobody really cared because the beta worked just fine. So then they were all done. Well, a big name game designer just wants to do daily maintenance and feature programming, so they all just left. Either WotC fired them, or they only had like a 1-year agreement, or they just all agreed like it's time to go. They found a different project, whatever. That just happens all the time. I'm not saying anything weird and shady and backstabby went on. I have heard nothing about that. But then they had trouble finding anybody who wants to move to Seattle and work for not enough money to program a bunch of really hard crap. And by really hard, I mean medium difficulty, but like I said, Seattle, they think everything's hard. They think having to go into the office is hard. So eventually, they just had those job listings up for like 2 or 3 years. It was insane. They just couldn't find anybody. And soon they said they were having trouble, having enough staff to make Pioneer/Explorer. So they made Explorer instead. And then they were having trouble even just keeping up with set releases to the point where they couldn't make feature updates. So what did they do? They said, let's just ship it out to a gaming company because they have a bunch of staff and they can scale it, they can maintain it, they can go up and down. Let's do, not just like Bethesda or something where they come up with like, one game every 2 years and it's huge. They went with a Canadian company that made Age of Mythology, which, geez, when did that come out? So they've been around forever. They pump out tons of games. They're like fast, expert, and non-AAA. But they also made like some pretty good games since then. So it made sense. And, currency difference between us and Canada probably helped. Here's why you don't do that. That looks so good on the surface, and I feel like they were probably boxed into it because they just couldn't find anyone. So I'm not saying, you should have gone with a different option. I don't have all the information. A lot of the information I do have is that WotC is, like, on a recurring basis made the stupidest possible decisions in every conceivable part of their business, but let's just say, okay, they were, like, forced into this by circumstances. With that said, what they should have known is that if you say, we will pay you X million per year to do this, here's the contract, sign it, done. How do you, the programmers and the designers and the maintenance people and the, just the code people, 3D graphics artists, animators, all that stuff, how do you make sure that it was a good enough project, a good enough contract to make money on it? You do the bare minimum of what they want done with the least amount of staff as fast as you possibly can. Do you want some, $500,000 a year all-star programmer who, could write the whole game engine for you? No, that's too expensive, and you only got X million dollars for this contract. What you want to do is put the worst people on it. In fact, you might even just farm it out to India. I'd be surprised that as a policy, they don't just do that. I mean, I worked at I can't really say that, but yeah, it's expected in certain industries that you will farm out portions of the IT work to India because they're just as good, but for less money, depending upon who you hire. But I'd say that about America too. But they're like, hey, there's even more competition. There's, a dime a dozen programmers and people undercutting everybody and lowballing everybody. And then India's just getting destroyed on skilled labor from COVID. Nobody wants to work at a call center. Nobody went to college. It is a nightmare over there. So all these potential factors lead to you're going to put your worst programmers on it, you're going to do the bare minimum, and you're going to rush it, which means you're going to make mistakes. So if you're going to ask the question right after they shipped it out to a professional gaming company with 20 plus years of experience, how is it that we're seeing this many bugs? That is the answer, in my opinion. I can't even imagine it's something other than that. That has to be the cause. They're rushing it, and they're trying to have the highest margins possible. If you already know you're getting paid, we'll just say $5 million. I don't know, it's probably higher, but, around there. And you think instead of $3 million worth of labor, work, and all that, and staff time, you can do it in 2, well, you're going to do it because that's free money. That's why the typical complex contract would include incentives and penalties. I know because I've worked under that, where the best example I know of is if you leave an IT ticket, like somebody reported, my monitor is broken. If you leave the ticket open for more than 72 hours, then the contract says your contractor loses X amount of money per ticket. And depending upon the severity of the ticket, it could be a very huge 4-digit hit to the contract. like in dollars. And then the bosses would just tell us to fake the tickets, close them and reopen them, find a reason, delay it, say the person was out, say you couldn't get a hold of them even though you could, claim they were on maternity, claim they were out on medical, claim you couldn't find the system, claim that it was put in wrong, whatever you got to do to lie and close the ticket as long as it's closed in time. Oh, good for you. God, I hated that place and I did not stay there long. Also, they understaffed us on purpose because they knew I could work faster and because nobody was willing to work for that pay. And that's just how they did things. Like, oh, we can't find anyone. The job market's so tough. Labor. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. Sorry, guys. While they would just sit there and pocket the same amount of money and just have us like lie about and fake the tickets so that they wouldn't get penalties. Greedy overseas contractors, man. They have no respect for some American businesses. All they care about is money. It's unreal. Not that you wouldn't find anyone in like Wall Street pulling crap like that and worse. I'm just saying it's like that's just how they were. You'd think Canada would have a better work ethic, but oh, that's right, it's pretty much one giant union town in country form. And if you don't vote hyper-liberal, then they might take away your union benefits and your union pay as the whole economy goes to crap, your currency's worthless, and your country's being ruined, and your rights are being taken away, and you're run by a tyrant. So maybe I wouldn't have gone with a company in Canada, but I heard they were kind of shopping it around potentially, and that's just who they landed on. And if it's WotC/Hasbro, you know they got bids. If it came down to like 3, they just went with who was the cheapest. They're the cheapest for a reason, WotC. You get what you pay for. So that is my explanation for why we've been seeing so many problems, and we're going to keep seeing it, because do you really think it's going to get better? Unless they threaten to like pull the contract, terminate it, find it in violation, or, you know, switch to someone else, something like that. And even then, they could only throw so much more staff and money at it until it's just not profitable, and they just pull out of the contract. So it's this whole John Woo showdown, and whoo boy. So hey, subscribe if you want more like news and the news behind the news in theory and going deep with my vast knowledge of a couple specific topics. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time Arena breaks. I think I actually forgot to cover one of the glitches. I think there was one more. So yeah, it's been a train wreck. I'll see you guys next time.